This presentation will be about Heineken, a little bit about the brand. It was founded in 1873 by Gerard Heineken in Amsterdam. They are proud to say that they are the highest quality beer with a stable, innovative strength. Today, Heineken is the second most valuable beer brand in the world, with more than 300 brands worldwide, selling in over 190 countries and having 125 breweries in 70 countries, and with 82,000 employees globally. In this video, we will discuss the ideal associations Heineken has generated over the years, as well as how the consumers actually associate Heineken. Throughout this video, we will also discuss the discrepancies between the two and how Heineken could manage it moving forward.
Before explaining the decisions made regarding the ideal brand map of Heineken, it may be of interest to explain how this brand map has been put together. The understanding of the ideal brand map means the way Heineken aims to be perceived by the consumers. All associations within the brand map are interconnections created by and to Heineken, which generates brand recall regarding the Heineken brand, making them more aware and likely to be within the consideration set regarding the choice of beer or even the choice of beverage. For this research, the group of 7 researchers conducted 36 interviews of individuals from different backgrounds, age, and job titles. The interview questions offered further insights on the respondents' consumption of Heineken, including any other brand preferences they inhibited, associations they may have had with the brand at the time of consumption, marketing-related factors associated with each occasion of consumption, and finally, context information regarding the environment in which consumption takes place. For the procedure of the interviews, the respondents were asked to create mind maps and, in turn, associations both before and after the conducted interviews. The participants were thus given a different colored pen or marker in order to differentiate which association was the initial one and which one was activated by the set of questions asked afterwards. The first step of the brand consensus map process was an elicitation of associations using open-ended questions such as, when you think of Heineken, what comes to mind? It was crucial that the researchers used 2 different colored pens to represent the differences between what people's perceptions of the brand were at the start and at the end of the interviews, and how these perceptions differed in our gap analysis. The first associations were crucial for the gap analysis because they're what people typically think of when considering a specific brand. All of the associations mentioned by the interviewees during the interview were compiled into a table. By creating this table, all the researchers were able to assess which associations were most frequently repeated and then search for patterns for the gap analysis. In the 36 interviews, more than 80 different associations were linked to the Heineken brand. Once all the interviews were completed, we discussed the most common types of associations that were mentioned during the interviews. Then the strength of an association in the brand map was illustrated by the connecting lines to Heineken, in this example being commercials. A table was then created where frequencies for each association was given, which aided in the researchers to discover opposing valences for associations. If any discrepancies were found in the associations, they were able to be interpreted, and the more frequent an association was mentioned, the stronger the association was.
In order to easily interpret our results, we clustered all the association into 6 main categories: beer, people, occasion, commercial, sports, and the Nederlands or Dutch associations. Out of the 5 segments of associations, we have clustered the segment that carries the most first-order association was the beer one. This cluster focuses on the properties of Heineken, such as flavor, logo, pricing strategy, and their sub-brands. And speaking of sub-brands, another association that respondent had was Heineken 0%, which was associated with the segment with the most common second-order associations, commercial. With the current Formula 1 boom, Heineken managed to partner with 2 Formula 1 drivers, Daniel Ricciardo and Sergio Perez. Of course, despite not being in the aggregate actual brand map, football was actually mentioned as well as the Champions League. Another fun observation is that researchers saw that only the Dutch interviewees were able to come up with the Heineken kidnapping scandal. This implies how familiar the Dutch citizens are regarding the infamous history of the Heineken kidnapping. So to sum up, it is clear that the present strong associations of Heineken were mainly clustered in the beer category and the segment with the highest frequency of second order association is occasion, followed by Dutch and people. So the first discrepancy we found is regarding Heineken's commercials and the fact they're investing a lot of money in it, but a lot of respondents talked about it. So why was this not even an association at all, and what can be done that the salient commercial association is linked to other advertisements than solely the drink responsibly advertising? First of all, this campaign is a non-project ad, meaning that the Heineken product is only playing a minor role within the campaign. Even though the commercial still complies to Heineken inclusivity and social values, associations cannot be created as heavily as the lack of the brand presence makes it difficult to create connections at all. As for the combinations, we do think that such sort of emotion accelerating advertisements work, but they should be in combination to short-term associations which recur on a regular basis in combination with the brand. To continue, we can make another point talking about quality. So Heineken ideal brand map contains key associations as quality beer, balanced taste, golden yellow, and refreshing. However, it was clear that the findings in our sample differ. It shows that 14% of the respondents associate bad taste to Heineken brand. Moreover, cheap was mentioned 14% of the time as well. This is an interesting point to talk about. Indeed, respondents also highlighted the need for Heineken to continue building quality awareness, which will likely shift from being a brand with average tasting beer to becoming more deeply ingrained as an affordable premium beer. Our analysis also shows that Heineken should continue to project a distinctive, creative, and impressive brand image as a strong association of quality, which can further influence people's positive feelings from the consumer towards Heineken's beer. Furthermore, Rigerton et al. Research discuss how people tend to believe that unhealthy food tastes better. This experience finding for mango beverage supports this notion. Therefore, introducing a beer with a vodka flavor possibly increases the taste perception of the original product due to the shift of reference points when consuming Heineken beer. So we can now move on to the third point, which is globalization. From merging with Amstel to capitalize the Dutch market back in the days and acquiring different brands across the world, such as BEERasmus, Heineken provides every type of beer to every consumer in this world. Although strong associations were created amongst Dutch and Amsterdam, the responses when further asked were quite the contrary. Although Heineken's biggest revenue stream is the classic green bottle, according to some respondents, the beer Heineken is starting to lose its Dutch identity and craftsmanship. Respondents seem to believe that the means of global expansion and innovation, Heineken is no longer representative of the Dutch beer culture or any Dutch identity. One of the solutions we came up with to increase Heineken's Dutch identity is through building separate identities through advertisement in and out of the Netherlands, promoting the Dutch culture through Heineken. Similarly, through festival with Dutch DJs, Heineken can introduce and spread the Dutch culture specifically through the Heineken beer and keep an international stand at the parent company, Heineken. This way, Heineken is able to maintain both its international and local Dutch positioning in the world of beers. Heineken could also create a special Dutch craft beer to promote the Dutch flair, which some of the Heineken's competitors are doing. For example, Hertog Jan created a full dark beer that is sometimes served at bars, similarly with the cloche. This could invite people to see another dimension of the brand that sometimes can be more closely associated with the Netherlands during the winter. However, a potential counter-argument that could be presented against this idea is that Heineken already has multiple brands under the Heineken parent company, which could fulfill this special beer or craft beer gap. Although this is indeed the case, it does not help Heineken's positioning as a beer brand and not a parent company to carry out more of the Dutch personality.
The next part in the gap analysis is sustainability. Like a lot of other brands in different countries, Heineken is aiming to use 100% sustainable ingredients, maximize circularity, and to operate a net zero carbon emissions value chain for 2040. And since sustainability is a huge topic in modern society, it is important for Heineken to be seen as a sustainable brand in order to stay relevant. Based on the interviews, the consumers do not link any of the sustainability activities to Heineken. How can this be improved? Well, we all know the iconic red star from Heineken, regardless the ideology behind it. The 5 points of the star represents Heineken brewing stages. However, a fun and interesting campaign can be presented by Heineken by transforming this red star to a green star. Clearly, because firstly green is the color of sustainability, and the new logo of Heineken therefore will connect sustainability with Heineken more easily. Through other methods, such as celebrity endorsement, Heineken can make use of familiar faces that have a positive association with the concept. Therefore, Heineken should make use of repeated pairing with affected stimuli, such as actors and environmentalists Leonardo DiCaprio, Woody Harrelson or Julia Roberts. This is also a fun way for Heineken to put out a sustainable campaign. Another form of monetary scheme is through a reward system. For example, consumer bringing the empty cans or bottles of Heineken to the local supermarket, and they can scan the QR code that is printed on your deposit receipt. Last but not least, being present in the outside world with other third parties, such as through hosting sustainability events or sponsoring these events, Heineken could position themselves as a brand with higher and stronger ties to sustainability. In conclusion, the objective of this Heineken case study research was to evaluate the network of connections for the brand, identify any inconsistencies between desired and actual brand associations, and provide a set of strategic and tactical recommendations to fill such gaps. Through interviews and aggregating associations from both desk and field research, the researchers had created a thorough gap analysis to find discrepancies and provide feasible managerial recommendations for Heineken. Globally recognized, sustainable, and quality are 3 key fields of improvement that came from the investigation, from both the consumer's perspective and for Heineken.